I remember it was, for me, not long into 2016 when like I actually realised it could happen, you know, that Leicester could win the Premier League. It was their game versus Tottenham, and it was a hard-fought game, both teams gone back at it, and Robert Huth scored a goal in the 83rd minute to give Leicester the win. And this was after a spell of a really up and down spell for Leicester. I actually thought this would happen. I predicted, I remember on a clip, that they would lose to Liverpool, and that's when I thought things would start to take a turn for the worst, and that the glorious rise, should I say, to the top would start to kind of flutter a little bit, and they would be looking to try and finish top 4, top 5, which would still be a phenomenal success. So they lost to Liverpool, and then they tied 2 consecutive games, so they picked up 2 points from 3 games over a really vital stretch, as we've seen in the history of the Premier League. And then they came up against Tottenham, and they tied with them, I believe, in the FA Cup before it. There was a spell where they played Tottenham like 3 times in 2 weeks. So they tied with them. It was a really hard-fought game in the FA Cup, and then they beat them. And something right there, they went level, I believe, on points with Arsenal, and I thought, they could do this. Like, that is the character, that's the grit, that's the hard work that is needed to win the Premier League, especially that season with teams being so bipolar, so up and down, that I was thinking, my God, this team has got the fundamentals that you cannot buy, that you cannot train even, to really win this competition in such a up and down season. And then moving forward, they took that confidence, and then it was when they moved into February, where it was cemented then, when they beat Liverpool and Manchester City, and people were like, what is going on? This is actually, we are witnessing history. We're witnessing one of the most remarkable things in sports history. And that's why I wanted to do this clip, to look back at, like, how was that journey? What was the moment where for you, so let us know in the comments, that you thought, we are witnessing the most glorious thing in sports. Everything that we grow up thinking could happen but might not was happening right in front of our eyes. A team that just survived relegation by the skin of their teeth to go on and win the league the next year. And then as things got closer to the end, it was obviously that night where I think that for everyone who was involved in football, you celebrated as if your team had just won the most ridiculous award. So for me, it would have been like Celtic winning the Champions League. I have to go back to 1967 to think that. But we were close in the UEFA Cup, and I remember that night and how close we were and how gutted I felt. And almost watching Leicester City win, it was just every football fan's dream that it was, and it wasn't even their team. They weren't even associated. I remember I texted my girlfriend saying, we did it. She's like, you've never supported Leicester. And I said, you know what, fucking this season I did, along with everyone else. And it was that night, Chelsea versus Tottenham. It was a Monday night, I believe. We were in the studio here, so it was Monday daytime here. And me and Jason just started celebrating. People in the studio were like, what the fuck are these guys on about? Like, we've never, Leicester? What is that, some sort of sauce? But they won the Premier League, and it was ironic that it was the champions of the season before that delivered them the title, with Eden Hazard finding his form just in time to help Leicester get over the finish line. And then that video from Christian Fuchs. Still gives me shivers, still spine tingling. Still mind-numbing, still heartwarming, any other sort of description you want to put in there. It validated my job for the year. I don't care how many views we get. I don't care how, in comparison to some other YouTubers that want to sit and play FIFA, which I like doing, by the way, but I just was so happy that I was involved in some sort of sports media to be able to talk and tell people, I can't believe that happened. I never even gave any in-depth analysis as to how it happened. I mean, I've done a bunch of tactics before, but I was just like, that just happened. They talk about the miracle on ice in America. They talk about the most remarkable sporting moments. But nothing will ever come close to that. I don't care if you don't know soccer, it's not your sport. Do a little bit of research. Look into Leicester's story and come to me with a different story, and I will gladly shoot that down back to where you dragged it from, because there's nothing that comes close to it. There might be in the future, But as for history at the moment, nothing compares to Leicester City in the most remarkable year in sports history. Will go down as 2016, a dark year with all things included, deaths, political changes, whatever your preference. Might be a good year for you depending on your political side, so I'm not going to judge. But for sports, 2016 was the year where the most remarkable sporting story in history came to fruition, and we witnessed it in front of our eyes. Andrea Bocelli, the world-famous singer, serenading the Leicester fans and Claudio Ranieri in their title party that was so symbolic that the Vardy party was crowned a party with Jamie Vardy banging in 2 against Everton to win that game 3-1, and just another memorable day in amongst several memorable days, which was Leicester City's 2016 Premier League winning season. Hope you enjoyed this. Share your favourite moment, but for me, nothing comes close.